Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the SWAS. NBA playoffs have finally begun. Off to a pretty solid start. 3-1 against the spread in the first two nights. I'm actually recording this before Friday night stuff, so hopefully I have a good one. The Bulls game is actually on right now, Bulls Heat. Bulls got off to such an ugly start, but it looks like they're battling back a little bit. So hopefully Chicago can get back in it. Live show in the morning is absolutely loaded. We're starting at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time with NHL. Got two NHL playoff games on, and I'm bringing on two NHL guys to give out bets for them. So we're starting with NHL. Then we'll do 4 NBA games. We'll go through the 4 playoff NBA games, and then we'll do MLB. 16 MLB games all on the live show. That's at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. If you're able to make it, we'd love to see you in the comments. In this video, Suns, T-Wolves. Let's roll.
Welcome to the Source. The Source. Source. Hey, get the Source.
All right, Suns are in Minnesota for game 1 here. T-Wolves are laying 1.5 or 2 points at home, depending on your sportsbook. Total sitting at 214. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet, and according to the model, we should see a 2-point Minnesota win. Final score, 112-110 T-Wolves. Injuries and inactives, and we'll start with Phoenix, and we have nobody. Actually, there's nobody on either side. Nobody on the injury report for the Suns, and nobody on the injury report for the Minnesota Timberwolves either. We got a playoff series starting, both teams at full strength. Betting trends on the Phoenix side. The Suns are playing the best basketball of the year right now. 10-4 in their last 14, 9-5 against the spread in that same span, including 4 straight road wins. 4-0 in their last 4 on the road. And you want to know who they were against? At New Orleans, at Clippers, at Kings, at Timberwolves. So 4 straight road wins against 4 Western Conference playoff teams. So yeah, Suns are playing great basketball right now. They're also trending towards the under. 2-5 to the under in the last 7 Phoenix games. On the Minnesota side, things are not going as well. Just 2-7 against the spread in their last 9. And you remember the first half of the year where Minnesota at home was like automatic? Well, they're just 5-12 against the spread at home since the All-Star break. And the Suns may be trending towards unders, but Minnesota is most definitely not. T-Wolves are actually 6-2 to the over in their last 8 games. And then we get to the worst news of all for the T-Wolves. Suns own this team. The Phoenix Suns are 13-2 straight up and 13-2 against the spread in their last 15 meetings against the Timberwolves. They've owned the Timberwolves, Phoenix has, including 3 wins this season. You can see November 15th, April 5th, and April 14th. Suns took all 3, 2 of those in Phoenix, 1 of them on the road in Minnesota, and that was just on Sunday, just the other night. So let's match these 2 teams up on the court, and we'll start with some net efficiency numbers in the last 10 games. These 2 teams pretty close. In overall efficiency in the last 10, it's 11th for the Suns, 9th for the Timberwolves. Look at the strength of schedule. Phoenix, first in the last 10 games. Minnesota back at 14th. So they're putting up similar data on paper, but the Suns are doing it against a much stronger schedule. So if you're wondering how the Suns beat this Minnesota team all 3 times they saw them, despite the Timberwolves being the better team for the majority of the season, it's right here. What do we know about this Timberwolves team? The backbone of this team is their interior defense. They protect the basket better than any other team in the NBA, and they've done so for pretty much this whole season. That's why they traded so much for Gobert. I know people criticize the Gobert trade pretty heavily, and they did pay a lot for him. But you know what? Minnesota had the #1 interior defense in the NBA this season, and they were battling for the 1 seed. So how do you not say they got a good return out of that? But anyway, if you're wondering how that's a positive angle for the Suns, it's because this Phoenix offense has 0 interest in attacking the rim. Just 23% of the Suns' shot attempts in the last 10 games have come at the basket. That's 28th in the NBA. Phoenix does all their damage from distance. And this is where Minnesota changes from the best defense in the NBA to a pretty average defense. Look at the frequency numbers for Minnesota's defense here. The strategy's pretty simple. Put pressure on the perimeter, force them inside to take contested shots on Gobert and Towns. Here's the thing, though. When they put that perimeter pressure on guys like Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, they'll beat the on-ball coverage, but instead of going all the way to the inside and taking a contested layup on Towns or Gobert, they'll pull up from 16 feet, something they're good at, something they are more than comfortable doing, and they hit at a very high rate. So Minnesota's defense, elite at protecting the rim, but the Suns have no interest in attacking the rim. So one of Minnesota's biggest strengths as a team is kind of negated by that. Another one of Minnesota's biggest strengths of a team, defending the fast break. This has been a top 5 transition defense for most of the season. That's fine. Suns have have no interest in running the fast break. They're like 25th or 26th in frequency this season. This Phoenix offense, the way it's built, the way they run it, it's just the kryptonite for a really good Minnesota defense. They're elite at doing exactly what Minnesota doesn't want their opponents to do. I mean, look at what happened in Sunday's game. Minnesota actually out-rebounded the Suns in that game. Phoenix scored 125 points, just 48 of them came in the paint. Minnesota actually outscored the Suns in the paint and lost by 20 points. Now, something we do have to point out about that game, Minnesota did turn the ball over 24 times. That probably won't happen again, but protecting the basketball has been a thing for Minnesota this season. In the last 10 games, they're 18th in turnover rate, 23rd in turnover rate on the full season, and the Suns defense has been playing excellent recently with a lot of energy, and now that Karl-Anthony Towns is back on the floor, that's a guy who's towards the top of the NBA in turnovers every year. So yeah, I don't think Minnesota will turn the ball over 24 times again, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him turn it over 18 or 19. Now, I know up to this point, this video has been extremely one-sided. You're probably like, okay, how do we not bet the Suns? But I do have a really nice angle for Minnesota. If you're betting the T-Wolves, this is what you're looking at right here. Minnesota's offense should definitely get whatever they want at the basket in this one. Not that Phoenix defensively has been terrible protecting the rim. They've been pretty middle of the pack. I mean, keep in mind, they played a really strong schedule in the last 10. But now that Karl-Anthony Towns is healthy, you got Towns, Edwards, Gobert, McDaniels, Anderson. These are all guys that can score efficiently at the basket. A healthy Timberwolves team can attack and score at the rim better than any other team in the NBA. Maybe only the Lakers with LeBron and Anthony Davis are comparable. And this Phoenix Suns team, they've been red hot, right? They've been beating everybody in the last month. But who are the two teams we saw beat them recently? April 7th, the Pellies. Zion went for 29 points in that game, got whatever he wanted at the basket. And March 29th, Oklahoma City, another team that could get to the rim and score. So I definitely expect Minnesota to attack the rim early and often in this game, and that should be a problem for Phoenix defense. The question is that enough to bet Minnesota? And personally, I don't think so. Before this season started, I had the Suns winning the NBA Finals. Obviously, the regular season didn't go exactly as planned in that regards, but it seems like they got hot at the right time. They're playing as good basketball as any other team in the NBA right now. So I'm going to roll with them. I'm going to bet the Suns. I wouldn't be crazy surprised to see him drop game one, but if I lose this bet, and if that happens, I'm going to jump on the Suns to win that series at plus money. So that's my plan. Give me the Suns in this game. I'm on Phoenix. Like I said earlier, live show, 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. NHL playoffs first, then NBA playoffs, then MLB. Back to back to back. If you're able to make it, we'd love to see you in the comments. If you want my top bets or top bets for any of the staff here, head over to KyleKirms.com. They're posted right on the website. There's also a link to join the Discord on there if you're interested. Let's have ourselves a nice weekend. Remember to bet responsibly, and I'll talk to you in the Discord.